Hey guys, this is Issues with Toddy One Skip. I am Toddy One Skip. Welcome back to our channel. Thank you guys, over 14,050 of us. How'd that happen? So quick, guys. What time of the day is it where you're at? What are you eating, drinking, smoking? What are you doing? Tell me. Is it raining? Those people that are in the wake of what is left of Hurricane Helene, our prayers are with you. I'm trying to find an organization that I could put up that if people wanted to donate, they could donate directly to an organization to help the victims of the hurricane. I'm looking for an organization where all of the money goes to help, not a percentage of the money, but all of the money goes to help. And as soon as I find that, I'll go ahead and put that in the community page. You guys could check into it. And you can donate or not. It's up to you. But prayers for those people. Prayers for those people. Guys, please like, subscribe, and share. Hit the bell. Won't you hit the bell? Hit the bell, hit the bell, hit the bell. I really appreciate it. So guess who came out with another one? Becca Scoops. Becca Scoops, guys. Guys, Becca Scoops came out with something. Another Gypsy Rose video where Becca Scoops talks about how mainstream media hasn't really caught on to what's going on with Gypsy, how mainstream media still believes basically in the Munchausen by proxy, and how everybody who's just scratched a little bit in the surface knows that there's more to it. But mainstream media, the people that aren't sitting here on YouTube and checking things out, kind of think that Gypsy should be left alone. She did her time. She should be left alone. They don't know that Gypsy took advantage of Nick. They don't know that Gypsy supposedly tried to unalive her mom twice before she had Nick do it, or maybe Nick did it. I still am not convinced that Dee Dee was unalive when Nick was there. So I'm hoping that somehow that's going to be addressed. Also, it's this month that Nick gets one more try at an appeal. So I think that shortly after that, if Nick gets his appeal, obviously we're going to hear in a new trial how he was manipulated, and everything that should have came out in the old trial that wasn't should have come out in the new trial. And Nick should get a fair trial. Gypsy, here's the breakdown. And it's very clear. So what they're saying, because a few of you have even written to me and you're not a fan of Nick's. I'm not asking you to be a fan of Nick's. I'm not asking you to be a fan of Gypsy's. I'm not asking you not to be a fan of these people. I'm not. I'm telling you what I think and the information that I've gotten. I think Gypsy, and I think across the board on this channel and with this community, we see Gypsy as a scammer. We see Gypsy that just unalived her mom, more or less for the sake of unaliving her mom and being a victim again. I still think that whatever happened that night didn't happen the way it was supposed to happen in Gypsy's eyes. I really, again, think that Nick wasn't supposed to leave the house. I think it was supposed to look like a home invasion. And Gypsy was supposed to somehow look like a hero in it, or at least be gone. So I think gone, girl, gone. Gypsy was going to go away. But it didn't work out that way. So what was really supposed to happen that night? What was Gypsy's real plans? I don't think that mainstream media and that people in general know that Gypsy wrote letters to Nick's mom, telling Nick's mom, and I've said this in videos before, telling Nick's mom that, Nick is safe with Gypsy and they're just coming to visit and she loves Nick and is going to take care of Nick. Because I said, if I was the Godejohn family, I'd be suing Gypsy, because that's breach of promise there. She promised to take care of Nick, knowing that what she was doing was having him come and unalive her mom. So that's breach of promise. I don't know how far that would go in a court, but that would at least put enough gray in a very black and white what the jurors thought situation was as far as Nick Godejohn. So those people are saying double jeopardy, double jeopardy. Nick deserves a fair trial, just like people based their verdict and based their decision of what they thought Gypsy was going through because of the Munchausen by proxy, which isn't even true. But nobody took into consideration what made Nick go along with the MURDER, and that was his lack of capacity to be able to think things through in a situation where he feels pressured to deliberate. He couldn't. So nobody took that into consideration, but everybody took a lie about Munchausen by proxy into consideration. So how is that right? How is that fair? Why is that okay? Huh? And then again, it comes up with how many surgeries did Gypsy have? Gypsy says she has over 30 surgeries. Where are the effing scars for these over 30 surgeries? And how did we let her get away with 30 to 4 non-invasive surgeries? How did we let her get away with that? How come she hasn't answered us? How come one of these brilliant newscasters or people like Joy Behar ask, well, what happened to all the scars from the surgeries, Gypsy? Where are those? Nobody's asked her tough questions like that. And I did a video a while ago about how Gypsy blamed Nick for unaliving her mom because of what that stupid comment she made about how Ryan and Ken wouldn't have let her do that. They would have taken her to the police and shit. It's easy to go back into the past and to rewrite history in your mind. In the meantime, Ryan has to remember, and Ken has to remember, that they went to a jail looking for some sort of companionship, some sort of love, some sort of something that they were messing with, curiosity, whatever. It turned into love. They ended up going against all of their judgment, all of their great judgment, and fell in love with this girl, impregnated her. Either one, tied to this woman for life who unalived her mom and who manipulated somebody on the spectrum. She did that to you, and you're not on the spectrum. What does that say about you? I'm just asking for a friend. So we can't beat up Nick because for 2 years, Nick pushed this aside. Nick said, no. Let's do it a different way. And then, there is, I don't know if it's true or not, but there's talk that Gypsy told Nick that she lost a baby because of Dee Dee. Their baby girl because of Dee Dee in the feeding tube. Now, that wasn't true, but did she really tell Nick that? Because I've seen that from, I believe, in the lawyer's notes. So all this manipulation on somebody who doesn't deliberate, who doesn't really weigh things when he's pushed, and you want to blame him for manipulating the situation. Look at what this woman has done to you, Ken. Look at what this woman has done to you, Ryan. You still want to blame Nick? Yeah, come on. Be real. You boys, Ken, Ryan, you need to watch this and see what a masterpiece. Your soulmate, your better half, your other half. See how wonderful she is. Be real with yourselves. See how wonderful she is, because I can guarantee you your parents see how wonderful she is. Ryan, your mom knows what type of person Gypsy is. I think you're starting to know what type of person she is. Ken, your mom's got her number. I'm hoping you're MIA because you got her number too. You could still be a daddy if that's what you want to be. You could still be a daddy if it's your kid. Just pay child support. You don't need to be in this woman's life on a daily. You just need to take care of your kid. That's it. And trust me, your kid needs taken care of with a mom like that. Okay? So that's what I'm saying. Is you could blame anybody you want, but now that you have experience with this woman has lied to you because she can't help but lie. So she's lied to you. There's been times, no doubt, you've caught her in lies. You can't trust her completely. You can't. I know you can't. So now, you really think that Nick was the manipulator in that situation? Ryan, I would love to ask you, if you still feel the same way that you did when you said that Nick manipulated that situation, it wasn't Gypsy. I wonder what you're thinking now. Guys, check out Becca Scoops! Here's some of the excerpts from Becca Scoops, but please check out the whole video. I know you will if you haven't already. She's one of the best when it comes to explaining things about Gypsy Rose.
He was diagnosed with microdeletion 1q21.1. So, from a very young age, Dee Dee was dealing with these symptoms from Gypsy's chromosomal disorder. That medical report confirming the microdeletion was in the possession of Gypsy's defense team, and they had an obligation to turn over that as evidence to the district attorney. The major point here is Gypsy's chromosome disorder probably caused many of the symptoms that led to the medical procedures she claims were unnecessary. The same surgical and medical procedures Gypsy and her camp claim were medical use by Dee Dee. There can be a very strong case made that every one of her medical procedures were indeed based on her chromosomal disorder. Gypsy has admitted her eye surgeries were needed. In fact, in one of her books, Gypsy herself drew a diagram of her surgical scars. Those scars prove Gypsy's chromosomal disorder manifested issues with her digestive tract, and that led to 4 procedures to her GI tract: the salivary gland removal, the laparoscopic procedure, the muscle biopsy to see if her chromosomal disorder was muscular dystrophy, and the placement of her G-tube. That's the extent of the so-called invasive procedures. Gypsy's chromosomal disorder centered on problems with her digestive tract, and those procedures back that up. We believe this illustrates this was no case of Munchausen by proxy. Dee Dee was not talking doctors into anything. In fact, Gypsy admitted during one interview that she and her parents had sought attorneys to take her case for malpractice. These cases can be quite lucrative with paydays in the multi-millions. However, no attorney would touch Gypsy's case with a 10-foot pole.
There's that 10-foot pole again. It just shows up in everybody's friggin' video.
We surmise these attorneys researched her medical records and did not find anything that came close to malpractice.
Then my dad and stepmom tried to look for an attorney that can take my case for a malpractice lawsuit, and I don't think anyone wants to touch it. Like, I've not been able to find one.
Really?
Yeah, no, that's really surprising, actually.
Dee Dee was a con woman who lied about Gypsy's health for financial gain. She was diagnosed with microdeletion 1q21.1. So, from a very young age, Dee Dee was dealing with these symptoms from Gypsy's chromosomal disorder. That medical report confirming the microdeletion was in the possession of Gypsy's defense team, and they had an obligation to turn over that as evidence to the district attorney. The major point here is Gypsy's chromosome disorder probably caused many of the symptoms that led to the medical procedures she claims were unnecessary. The same surgical and medical procedures Gypsy and her camp claim were medical use by Dee Dee. There can be a very strong case made that every one of her medical procedures were indeed based on her chromosomal disorder. Gypsy has admitted her eye surgeries were needed. In fact, in one of her books, Gypsy herself drew a diagram of her surgical scars. Those scars prove Gypsy's chromosomal disorder manifested issues with her digestive tract, and that led to 4 procedures to her GI tract: the salivary gland removal, the laparoscopic procedure, the muscle biopsy to see if her chromosomal disorder was muscular dystrophy, and the placement of her G-tube. That's the extent of the so-called invasive procedures. Gypsy's chromosomal disorder centered on problems with her digestive tract, and those procedures back that up. We believe this illustrates this was no case of Munchausen by proxy. Dee Dee was a con woman who lied about Gypsy's health for financial gain. Dee Dee lied claiming Gypsy had leukemia and muscular dystrophy. Dee Dee was a con woman who required Gypsy to sit in a wheelchair and pretend to be paralyzed. Dee Dee did not make Gypsy ill. Dee Dee never medically harmed Gypsy. Gypsy was ill, but not with anything life-threatening. Therefore, Gypsy's claims of medical abuse all fall apart. Number 3, they screwed a disabled autistic man and hoped no one would notice. Gypsy's defense team either ignored this critical chromosomal diagnosis or buried the report on the microdeletion in paperwork so the prosecution would have a very hard time finding it.
All right, guys. Please like, subscribe, and share. Ring the bell, 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 bell. Thank you, guys. Please double check if you are subscribed. And always, always, always be better today than you were yesterday. Not half as good as you'll be tomorrow. Always be kind, guys. Always be kind. Never be a gypsy.